Well, finally happened, guys. Fubo's done for. I sold all my shares. I canceled my subscription, and really the hardest part was blocking David Gandler's number in my phone. It's really been a rough day. Obviously, I'm kidding. Um, Weird day though. Lots to talk about. I was trying to just take the day to really think about everything that's going on with the stock. Um, I don't really think it is going to change a whole lot. I think I think if anything, it besides some of the weird details in this deal that was announced between Fox and Warner Brothers and Disney, these are old companies. They're struggling. Their share prices are struggling. They've kind of been on the decline. Like Disney is, I mean, they have a lot of issues going on with them with just their PR and kind of what people are thinking of the company and some of the decisions they've made. This whole thing just felt um, really out of place and just kind of like thrown together. I mean, if you've looked around at some of the information, they don't even, it's going to be a whole other company with a whole other leadership team, and it doesn't have a name or a date of when they want to launch it, maybe later this year or early next year. It's really kind of strange. I don't know if they were just trying to boost their stock prices. I'm just not really sure where they were trying to go with this one. But they're all old companies that are, they're clearly behind. And I think if anything, this proves, um, the trend that Fubo has seen, and a lot of these MVPDs, virtual MVPDs that are popping up YouTube TV and Fubo, and obviously the emphasis on sports. Um, I think it just proves that they had the foresight to see where the industry was going, and now you have these three old giants in the room that are feel like they kind of missed the train, so they're gonna pile on and then just like I don't know, kind of send this weird message out that they're working on teaming up for this sports streaming platform. The whole thing's just really really strange to me. But but I just wanted to kind of cover a couple things here. Um, yeah, I was just kind of looking at some of these the stock. I mean, pretty much all three companies. Disney popped up a little bit today with their earnings. I think they were up like 6%. But just kind of looking over the last couple of years, I mean, each one of these companies is kind of either flat or on the decline. Um, so it's just the whole move just seems strange, and really, I don't know if you guys saw. Well, we can get into that after. Um, but just some of the news, it was just very kind of abrupt. It's gonna have its own leadership team. It doesn't have a name or a price. It'll be a skinnier bundle of linear networks and a standard cable offering specifically tailored to sports fans. So it's really, I don't know. I mean, there's so little information on it, and this is at a time when a lot of these tech companies, they're trying to get leaner. Whether it's driven by AI, and there's been a ton of layoffs with a lot of these tech companies, and really just trying to lean out the organization. I mean, it's like I don't think they even realize how expensive it's going to be. Granted, they're kind of splitting it up across three different companies, which is another issue in itself. It's going to be expensive for them, and it's for them to hire a whole team for this new app and spend all this money at a time when they're really trying to increase their profits for Wall Street. It's just I mean, it feels like they're not even really going to do it. Like, I don't know. It's just odd. They're going to spend all this money, and it's not an easy business either. I mean, you look at YouTube TV or even Fubo, they both have their issues with, the app and how things work. It's like, these things take a while to kind of iron out and get it to run smoothly. I mean, the fact that they think they're going to build this whole thing from the ground up and it's going to be this great thing in, 8 months or whatever they're planning on launching. Um, I don't know. The whole thing just kind of feels weird. And then it's like, what, they're going to just dominate and have a monopoly on sports viewership. It's like, I don't, it just feels like they're going to get into this mess where, they're going to have, um, litigation again, or, even be prevented to have an app like this, where they're going to, I think it was like 70-80% of live sports that they'd essentially dominate. The whole thing just seems very odd. Um, I don't know. If you have any comments, I'd love to hear it. It's just like kind of weird, how little information there is on it, and it's just at the timing that it is. It just doesn't really make a whole lot of sense. They give very little information on here. Just kind of some of the networks and stuff that roll up under the three of those. Um, but kind of in response to this, this came out I think an hour or two ago. Fubo released their statement on it, essentially just saying, it captured our attention. Sports. There's going to be more competitors entering the market. We expected this. Streaming joint ventures rarely work. I agree with that. I mean, that one's just like, I don't know. You have these three massive companies. It just feels like something that can easily fall into a crack. And the more hands you have in a pot, they're just, it can create more issues than it really is going to help anything. But they really just, they talk about, it's kind of what we do, blah, blah, blah. They've been first to market with features like 4K multi-viewing AI products like the instant headlines. And that's another good point. I mean, these companies, they're, years late to the game already. They're going to suddenly launch something now. And it's like they're old companies. They have old approaches to solving these problems. And they're just bloated companies too, though. Fubo is, newer, a little more innovative with some of their products. They're a pretty lean organization. They're like 500 people or whatever. They're already in kind of position to take on the market and launch some of these cool products. It's like, I don't know, underlying motives. And this was, obviously they have scrutiny on it, with the impact on fair market competition. That's kind of what I was just talking about. Joint venture spotlights a concerning trend where an alliance with significant market share, reportedly controlling 60 to 85% of all sports content, could dictate market terms in a manner that may not serve the broader interests of consumers. I think that's going to be a big issue too. I thought this was a good response from them. It took them like a day to send it out, but I think it's a good point. They're saying like, hey, we're here for the consumer. We want to make a great product. There's going to be competition, but something like this, if it comes out, it can dominate the market. And the whole thing, I'm just, we'll have to see how this whole thing plays out. I think this is honestly good news for Fubo. It really, at its core, it proves that Fubo's had the foresight on this for years, and they've already been working on this, coming out with new tech. The AI-enabled stuff, I think I talked about more on the last video. They just have a more innovative approach to solving some of these problems and having different cool features and stuff like that. I really don't think it does a whole lot. Fubo, they're still continuing to grow. I mean, I think it was on that Needham Growth Conference call. I mean, Gandler was asked about competition and YouTube TV and stuff like that, and he very candidly just kind of said like, hey, every time, YouTube TV or another feature or NFL Sunday Ticket, any time one of these deals comes out or news hits the street, he's saying, oh, everybody thinks Fubo's dead. Fubo's dead. And he's like, we're continue to grow. It's, they're not the biggest player out there, but they've continued to grow. They've continued to offer more. I think this is really just the same thing. I think they're going to continue to grow. And this whole cord cutting theme, it's going to be big. It's not like you're going to have one or two companies dominate it. You're going to have several. So even as this does play out, I don't think it's where one gets shut out completely. I don't know whether or not Fubo is going to look at maybe a strategic partner at this point. I think it would be interesting. I don't know that they necessarily need it, but just from a general view of the company, I think it would give them a little more legitimacy to the street to have backing from a larger, older company that's essentially making an investment in Fubo and the direction. So we'll really have to see how this whole thing plays out. I'm not really concerned. They dropped like 20-25% today. I bought up more shares. I'm sitting at like 103,000 now. So I'll continue to add, but I really don't think they'll stay at this level very long. I think, they'll have earnings in the next like 2 weeks. I think they're going to kill it on the Q4 earnings. It really doesn't change anything about what they're doing and what kind of growth they've had. I mean, by the time these other guys launch their app, Fubo will probably be a profitable company at that point. So I don't know, the whole thing is just kind of weird. Feel free to leave comments. There's a lot of different directions this thing can go. But I really don't think it's the end. The end of Fubo. I've been on X just kind of looking at some of the posts, and everyone thinks Fubo's done with. It's like I don't know. I think there's room for a lot of players in this, and it's going to be a big theme over the next 5 to 10 years. Fubo's positioned themselves really well. Their platform's already built up. They already have 1.5 million subscribers. They're continuing to grow, continuing to offer more content, more features. They'll be profitable soon. I don't know how this is the end of Fubo. I think they'll have some short-term pain with this. Obviously, it dropped. I don't think it's going to sit below $2 for very long. But no, interesting couple of days. Looking forward to Q4 earnings. We can cover some content on that, what to look for. As always, they just need to continue to add subscribers, continue to boost their ad revenue. That's really going to give them the edge, is how they're going to utilize this AI tech and how they can monetize that. The instant headlines thing is really cool. To have more features like that and, more monetizable features for from an ad platform perspective will be really interesting. So I don't think Fubo is going away anytime soon. So that's kind of where I'm at. I think that's about what I wanted to cover for this. Feel free to comment and leave your thoughts. I'd like to hear a little more on this one. There's been a lot of different viewpoints here. Just let me know what you're thinking. And I've been trying to post these a little bit more. I'll probably do one in a couple days as the dust settles from this and we see what the stock price does. Cool. Thanks for watching. See ya.